Who are they? Who is that? Who are these people? Who are that? That's Sizzle, his brother-in-law.
Oh, shoot.
Who's that?
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Original Sports Podcast. Mark Maradei and my Barbershop crew. My boys are here tonight. Look, this episode is one that we're going to lay it out there about these overpaid, underachieving pro athletes. Psych, nah, really. Here's what's going down. After we do some spontaneous reaction segment, we're going to get into week 9 of the NFL season a little bit. Look at our picks for our mid-season studs and duds. We'll finish up with our week 10 selections and just where everyone stands with their picks heading into the final half of the season. So, Coach Noob is with me tonight, Rasheen the Dream, and T-Sizz. Man, what's going on? How are you?
Ooh, muscles.
Another night of the OSP. I love it. I love it. Hey, spontaneous reaction number 1 for you guys. USC let their DC go just a little bit ago in season. Okay, they cut loose the defensive coordinator. I get their defense is some hot trash. I understand it. It definitely doesn't live up to what their offense can do. But there's only like 3 games left or 4 games at the most. You think it's smart to let your defensive coordinator go at this point, or just demote him and then,
They might have someone in the wings waiting. My whole problem is how come they can't play defense? I know they got athletes. I don't even know that boggles my mind out in the Pac-10 or 12. I already got that place now.
So, I think he lost the team. I saw a little thing on Twitter where he had them all huddled up at a timeout, and he called the player or whatever, or talked to him briefly, and then he goes, "All right," put his hand up. Everybody put their hand in, and nobody put their hand in. Everyone just turned and walked away. It just looked like no one had any respect for him whatsoever.
Well, they didn't really touch his hand.
I think all the coordinators in the Pac-12 should be fired because none of them play defense.
They only got like 3 teams left in the Pac-12. They should be able to beat somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame just
Pac-3.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's pretty good as Oregon's defense.
Yeah.
Have you heard their D coordinator? You'd love him. He's a badass.
Who is it?
I don't know his name. I just heard him talking on Instagram. He was awesome.
I like the dude who was there as the OC there for a while that we know. He was up in Connecticut, and then he's now the head coach where? Hofstra. I think he's Hofstra. He's a Pittsburgh guy from out near Moon Township in Pittsburgh.
Oregon?
Huh?
Oregon?
I'm drawing a blank on his name. But, yeah, he was the OC at Oregon. He had been around for a while. So, yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to understand how their defense. I'm like, Rasheen, how do you have all those athletes there and you can't play defense? What did you do wrong? Was it a personality conflict from the get-go? Like, what is it? And this is Lincoln Riley's job too, right?
Well, you might say what went wrong, but what went wrong might have been the preseason predictions. They might have had them so high they couldn't live up to those standards.
Hold up. They have a generational quarterback who should be able to carry this team, right? Isn't that what we're told by several people?
There's 3 facets of the game. We all know that.
I mean, shoot, he can't play defense. I mean, but yeah.
I just don't. First of all, when you tag somebody as a generational quarterback, I have a problem with that. Until you take some snaps in the NFL, I mean, did you think Mahomes was going to be a generational quarterback? Did you anticipate Manning after his first 2 years in the league? He was hot trash. Did he look like a generational quarterback? I mean, it's hard to say a guy coming out of college is going to be that. He might have every tool in the book, but the translation from that game to the NFL game is. Go ahead.
Going back on the defenses, we had this conversation. Where's the coaching? Or lack thereof.
There's something going on there. There's something bad going on. Either they didn't get the right guys out of the portal, they didn't recruit the right guys, but to have that team should be able to recruit. They had money. They got Caleb Williams. Did they give him all the NIL money? Is he the only one that got money and they can't afford any defensive guys?
That's what it sounds like.
Lincoln Riley got a good chunk of that too.
That's what it sounds like. But I mean, like we said, you only said one team can play defense in that league. This is weird. That's crazy.
I just think it's wild that first of all, the Pac-12 is getting ready to collapse.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a Power 5, and it's not going to make it. It is Tanner, one of our guys from the network, actually the lead guy right now. What's up, Tanner? Tanner says it's a Lincoln Riley team. You think about Lincoln Riley teams, their offense, right?
Yep.
Now, if you want to think about Lincoln Riley quarterbacks, they don't make it. Kyler Murray, what's he? Baker Mayfield, he's 8 years in. He's doing a little bit right now, but he's 7-8 years in.
Yeah.
I mean, to say that Caleb Williams is going to come out of there and be the next one, I don't know. Tanner also said that, they called Mahomes, but I have a problem with saying a kid coming out of college is going to make it at the next level. How many guys have we seen be tagged as a great player and not make it? Yeah, Murray did get his money.
That's interesting you say that, because it seems like these guys with expectations don't live up to them as much as the guys that we don't know about. We may know a little bit, but the weight of the world is not on their shoulders like a Murray or like Williams or guys like that. And them coming out, not living up to it, I think is a lot more than those that we don't really
That's
see.
true. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you see his brother?
No.
I sent you guys something about his brother today. I sent you a clip, a picture of him and his brother. Marvin Harrison Jr. said that his younger brother, who's I want to say 14, 15 years old now, he's got offers already. He's off the chain, he said.
See, Marvin Harrison III?
No, his name, I forget what his first name is.
Like George Foreman.
Yeah. No, but Marvin Harrison, even himself, was like, he's off the chain. My brother's going to be better than what I am, and I'm better than my dad.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But, shots fired.
Yep. Hey, the second thing, this is an interesting one. Premier League Lacrosse is going to kick off their third season in the coming months. You guys watch any Premier League Lacrosse? Because they bought out the MLL, the Major League Lacrosse, and are marketing the crap out of lacrosse. These are two local guys from Montgomery Village, the Rabel boys. Cheap to play, physical. It's like playing hockey on grass, to be honest with you. What's it going to take a sport like lacrosse, though, to make that jump up with the big sports? I mean, it's our state sport here in Maryland. Can they make that jump? Will we see that?
I think you see a decline in most sports. I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be negative, but
right, because I love lacrosse. I wish we'd had it coming up in Pennsylvania. But don't guys get pretty whacked up in that game too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's very high contact. Like you said, it is like hockey on turf, but you're playing the distance, you're playing the field of a football field in more, because you're playing to the end line, not just the goal line, the end. So you're playing 120 yards, the width of it. It's full contact. It's intense, but you're not just out there checking everybody at any time. Typically, guys with the ball.
Right.
We went to a game down at Audi Stadium, and to see the pros at the next level was intense. It was really cool. And just the play calling, schematic, the schemes and everything.
So can you hit a guy coming across like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, I just think the consumer only has so much time on their hands. The NFL has done such a good job of making it a year-round thing.
It is a year-round thing.
To keep everyone's attention throughout the year. I mean, it's nonstop. They talk about the draft, the combine, this and that, free agency.
They set themselves up for success.
They've done a great job. It's nonstop, and they've done a great job. And so if you're someone who consumes football, there's not really room for other sports.
The only getting consumed is at the lower levels. I don't know what you call it, pee-wee, but the feeder programs into the high school programs, and then it's getting into college a lot more. Obviously,
That's what Tanner just said.
Getting a lot more notoriety around here. If you watch the playoffs, the Kavanaugh brothers from Notre Dame are legit. The dude snapped his hamstring in the before the championship game, and he had like some kind of elastic band he tied to the back of his leg to simulate a hamstring, essentially, and it was phenomenal. But like you said, Noob, I don't think it's going to take over. It's drawing from the other sports to get popularity in high school settings. Like we're losing guys from baseball, from football. They're like, okay, I'm going to play this year round. I love it. It's drawing from that, but at the next level, I don't know. It's
college. I think college has definitely grown. Also, the interest in college. The national championship last year, like you said, it was huge. Weren't they sold out last year? The national championship?
They might have been.
Oh, it had it.
Might have been.
Was it up in Philly? I think they played up in Philly, I believe. But yeah, I think.
But that's the thing with the PLL. They're not locally affiliated. In other words, there's no DC team. They're trying to get that. That might help because these teams are just like they float around and they'll stop at a city, play a couple games, get some recognition. Hey, come out, get some fanfare, and then they'll go somewhere else. Like I said, we went down to DC Yachty Stadium. Then they might have gone out to Philly. Then they're in Denver, Boston. So they do like an East Coast, West Coast type thing.
So they're basically
they do want to get a market in the city so that they can have that root and that connection.
So they basically are taking their players from other teams and moving them around the country into places where they don't have teams to see what the feel is there. That way, when they're ready to expand, they know, hey, this was a good output in DC when we went there and played this. They play like 4 games in a weekend when they come to this area, right?
Right.
So, we had this kind of turnout the last 2 years we played there because I know they played there the last 2 years. I mean, I follow what goes on with it.
Yeah. They did that with basketball in Pittsburgh back in the 80s or 90s. It was the 80s. And we went to see the Knicks and the Cavs. Civic Arena. No one showed up. No one.
No.
There weren't that. It wasn't that. No one was interested in basketball at the time.
Even when the Bulls came through Pittsburgh for a preseason game, Jordan wasn't there, but they had Pippen, they had Tony Kukoc, they had those guys there. They still didn't. The arena was half sold out, so that's not something. But Tanner says again, media. If the media pushes this and they start finding darlings in the sport, it's going to push the sport. You don't think so, Rasheen?
But you're going to have to give them nicknames and stuff like that because if it's not physical, people don't want to watch it.
It is a physical game, though.
Oh, it's physical.
It's very physical.
Well,
it might be the third. It might be the third most physical game out there after football and hockey. To be honest with you, I mean, take away wrestling, take away boxing, which is a net. You got to be physical to play that sport. But this is a finesse sport that has a physical element to it, like football and hockey.
Are you saying WWE isn't finesse?
Shit. Bring back Stone Cold, baby.
Because I said so.
Hey, before we go on and talk about Week 9, my guy Jay Colberth, the Cowboy guy, he wants to know our feelings about the tush push. He really hates it. He's a big-time Cowboy guy, and the Cowboys dropped one to, it's the fish that saved Pittsburgh. Your wife just dropped on us, Rasheen. But Jay says, get rid of the tush push. It's impacting games like that. But, I was telling some kids today, they come in my classroom at lunchtime on Tuesdays, 3 or 4 of them, and they watch all 22. The one kid's dad pays for the premium package, so they watch all 22. Oh. And they asked me about it, and I said, that's only been around the last couple of years. Before that, you got a penalty if you were pushing somebody from behind to get over the line.
So there's 2 ways to beat it.
Is it? Wait, but first of all, it's you can do it in the NFL, but not high school, right?
No, wait, can you do it in high school, Mike? No, you can't do it. Oh, wait,
I thought you can push. Yeah, you can push.
You can't pull.
Can't pull. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's weird.
There's 2 ways to beat it. Either go back to calling it a penalty, or
I like
Stop
that.
it
Yeah.
on the defense. That's how you stop it.
And they call it the brotherly shove in Philadelphia.
Oh well, yeah, they do. They call that a lot of things out there
It's
too.
yeah, it's Philly, baby. Hey, it's like a scrum though. To be honest with you, it's like a rugby scrum.
Rugby, yeah.
You know, I mean that's what they've created there. They've thrown that element in there. Let's jump into week 9.
Let's go.
Right out of the gates, guys. I got the Steelers 20, Titans 16. It was last Thursday night's game.
We all picked the Steelers. Noobs took the Titans.
Yeah, thanks for that win.
Deontay Johnson versus George Pickens. Deontay Johnson is getting the ball now that he's back. You know, he's a sure-handed receiver who runs pretty good routes. Okay.
And he hasn't been going backwards as much.
No, not as much. I think Pickens' problem is the fact that
Someone's behind you.
he does not. Oh, yeah, come on in, man.
Hey,
She's coming
Cal.
to refill my wine.
Oh, you got
Cal Ripken, the server.
Lights
Thank
out
you,
in
my love.
Baltimore.
So awesome.
You know, with Pickens, I don't know what kind of short route guy he is. He's got to push it 10, 15 yards or go deep. Go ahead, Rasheen.
We've talked about this, man. He cannot run the tree. It's so obvious, and that's what everybody keeps saying. He's the next AB. The thing about AB was he wasn't a burner, but it was his routes that got him open all the time like that. Dude has 2 routes: the go route and the back shoulder route. That's
Pickens?
it. That's,
Pickens?
yeah,
He can run a deep dig. He scored twice on a deep dig.
Ooh, I don't remember that one. Which one was
Yeah.
that?
He did
one?
make an athletic as hell move against Jacksonville a couple weeks. Was that Jacksonville? It was. He jumped over those 2 dudes down at the goal line to get in.
I'm not talking about his athletic ability. I'm talking about his ability to run tree. We've talked about this before. If you can't do that, people. It's the NFL. It's not high school where they know that you can only do 2 things. He's either going to go deep or he's going to go behind the back shoulder pass.
You true?
He can't do anything. He needs to learn to run tree, and then he can come talk to us. Next.
Sizzle.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I was just thinking, it's been I'm getting off, staying on the same team, off this wide receiver duo topic. I just heard 56 games. You know how long that is? Over 3 seasons since they've had 400 yards in offense. Our man Stroud had that alone last week. 56 games, they haven't had 400 yards in offense.
So when we were doing that, who was the coordinator?
That was Haley.
Bring him back.
No. I'm sorry. Finkner. That was Finkner.
Oh, wow.
Randy Finkner. Yep. Because
4
Haley was
seasons.
before Finkner.
56 games. That's over 4 seasons or 3 seasons and some change.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
up with that?
Okay, let me ask you guys this.
You get 300
First of all, Tanner wants to know our thoughts on Martavis Bryant. We're going to come back to that in a couple seconds here, Tanner. But let me ask you guys this, though. You could go the whole ways back to Arians when Tomlin took over this team, and you could move through all those offensive coordinators. And people called for the heads of almost every offensive coordinator that has come through that system. Now, they had to get rid of Arians because Ben was just getting demolished, getting sacked on a regular basis 3-4 times a game. And that's when they brought in Haley, who played the short game, the screens, the quick hitters, all that stuff.
I hate those.
And so every offensive coordinator since, Arians essentially has been shanghaied by the Steeler Nation. Okay, let's face it, that's who it is. At the end of the day, what's the common theme here?
The offense sucks.
No.
The common theme here.
What's the common theme?
I know what you're going to say. It's Tomlin.
Bad choices.
It is.
Bad picking, bad choices.
Yeah. Listen, with Tomlin, he is we're going to play defense. We're going to win with defense. We're going to have ball control. We're not going to turn the ball over. That's what we're going to do. He has the old school mentality, and it shows. And now what's happening is people want to point their finger at Pickett, who he misses passes. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But, the kid has more skill than that, and they're not letting him demonstrate it. They're asking this kid essentially to control the ball, not turn it over, don't make really piss poor throws, and I think in some ways that works on him when he's out in the field and he's like, oh shit, if I short arm this and they pick it off, they're going to be all over my ass. So he might be out throwing these guys, things like that. When you look back at it, and I don't know if people see it from this perspective, but when you look back at it, it's a common theme. Every one of these coordinators under Tomlin had issues, and every one of them was pushed out the door. They're not going to do anything with Canada till the season's over. And guess what's going to happen when the season's over? At the end of the day, they're going to bring in somebody else that's a yes man for Tomlin. And we're still going to be pissed off and sitting here having this same discussion 2 years down the road.
Oh, great. Bring back the 80s, man. This sucks.
Well, we are 5-3.
Well, that's why we're the gunslinger shirt, baby. He threw plenty of interceptions. I think if there's anything you can say about Pickett, he doesn't have a big arm. After watching Will Levis throw in person and watching Pickett, Will Levis has a big freaking
He's got
arm.
a gun, man. That guy.
I'm a fan.
Arm.
That kid's good.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. I don't know what he did in Kentucky to have him drop like that. In fact, his girl dropped him after he got dropped in the draft. But he just has a big arm, and I watched it in person, and I was pretty impressed with that. I don't know. In that first drive by Tennessee, you guys, again, I sat there and watched this. It was so ticky-tack. I know you guys watched it from home. It was so ticky-tack, those penalties they were throwing flags on. They kept their drive moving on stuff that is normally not even called. And it was like the league said to them, don't let this get out of control or anything.
I was just going to say that. I feel like that's the league mentality right now. These games are just controlled by the officials with, like you're saying, ticky-tack. But there's so many that can just what are you looking at? And Joe, the fan here, on watching from TV, obviously I'm not there live and in person, but when they slow it down and show it, it's like, whew, I hate to be an official.
I was just going to say the pass interference to me is the one that's the most inconsistent, because I'll see a guy get dragged with his jersey and they won't call anything. And there'll be another instance where he barely bumps him, and it's definitely not interference, and they call it. I just don't understand. It just seems to be at certain times that it's called. It is the most inopportune time for a team. Yeah, it's super impactfully. I feel like they're controlling the game through that, and the little holding, they'll do a DB holding call, things like that. You call holding almost any play on offense or defense, I bet.
But that PI, I feel like I'd love to see the percentages of where the receiver is more engaging than the D-back, because I feel like the receiver is chucking and pushing, if not the same, even more than the corners,
Yeah.
I feel like it could go either way, but chances are it's not going against the receiver.
No, I'll tell you one thing.
As long as they don't lock out, I think they get it. I think the offensive guys will get it as long as they don't push that arm and get that lockout.
Yeah.
One thing you guys might not have seen on TV that I watched because we were sitting right there was when Hopkins was running a fade route on JPJ, and Hopkins was pushing him the whole way down the field, pushing him. And the ball went over Hopkins' head out of bounds.
Yeah.
And they called it an incomplete pass. It was clearly, he mugged Porter Jr. He mugged him. And it was clearly, you could tell, it was clearly a pass interference on the offense, and they just blew it off. Like the guy was standing right, the side judge was standing right freaking there watching it. And I'm like, how can you not call that?
Speaking of blowing one off, your friend Tanner with Let's Talk Sports asked about Martavius Bryant.
Yeah, I don't want to blow that off. Hey, he got cleared by the NFL. He got reinstated since weed is a non-issue in the NFL now because it's legal in so many places. And he signed today on the practice squad of the Dallas Cowboys at 31 years old.
I think he could have been legit, but I think it was more than just weed when he was with the Steelers. There was mental health issues.
I don't know.
You don't think?
I think he just don't love his mom.
Huh?
I think he just doesn't love his mother.
Oh, that's mental health. You got to love your mom, number one.
Oh,
You can make that kind of money, and you could go and tell your mother, "Hey, you don't have to work another day in your life, but instead you want to get high." Yeah, something's wrong with you, my friend.
She got to be his ass.
Something's wrong.
well,
It's my opinion.
I mean, for Bryant, he was never going to get a look in Pittsburgh again.
That's crazy, man. He was
There's-
so dynamic.
He was, yeah.
He was, but he's 31. Rasheed, he's
I said so dynamic.
yeah. Could you imagine him and if you would have had that core of Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Martavis Bryant, and Heath Miller at tight end? Like, that's a hell of a core. Plus that offensive line the Steelers had then. You know, I mean, Bryant would have definitely been – he may have taken some of the line – let me put it to you this way. AB may have snapped earlier because Bryant would have probably taken some of that limelight away from him.
It'd have been like the Bengals. We'd have had 2 1s, basically. We had 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Because he was that good.
Hey, did you guys know this? George Pickens is Carl Pickens' son. Carl Pickens, who played for Cincinnati.
Yep.
Carl, he is Bo Jackson's great nephew. Carl Pickens is Bo Jackson's sister's son.
Carl Pickens played at Tennessee, right?
Yep.
That
Bo
dude was a
Jackson's
freak.
sister.
Yeah. He was off the chain for Cincinnati.
One of my teammates went to JUCO with him and said he watched him high jump 6'4" in jeans when he was walking by the track. He walked by. He goes, "Watch this." And he high jumped 6'4" in jeans.
And James.
With no warm up.
Hey,
Imagine having that God blessing ability.
back then he had them rock and roll jeans on too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He had them
The big
Carl
loose ones.
Kanai.
Yeah.
He had them
Carl
Jordache
Kanai
on.
jeans on.
Carl Canal wasn't out. It was Jordache.
There was Jordache. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, game of the week, you guys. KC 21, Dolphins 14. I think the Dolphins had a little jet lag to start that game. KC was up 21-0. And then they came roaring back and made it 21-14. It looks like Kansas City's defense is catching up with their offense. To me, it does.
Yeah,
But,
they're much improved. Their defense is.
Yeah,
One of the things I observed watching some of that was there's a big difference between Mahomes and what Tom Brady was. And that's why I don't think Mahomes will actually get to, say, 6 Super Bowls like Brady did. Brady took average or a little below average guys and made them players. I don't see Mahomes doing that with this receiving core. If he loses Kelsey, this team's in trouble.
That's an interesting take. I don't know, man. It seems like he doesn't have too much to work with right now.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean,
Right, and Brady did. Wait,
those
I mean,
guys-
what did Brady have? Outside of Randy Moss. Outside of Randy Moss, okay, who else did he have?
All those short white guys.
Wes
They were
Wells.
fast.
Yes.
They were fast.
Amendola, who was a lacrosse player.
Listen, those were the Cooper Cups way before Cooper Cup. Those
Yeah.
dudes get like 120 catches a year. Yeah.
What was that one dude's name? Brickhead or Blockhead or some shit? The one guy that played running back and slot receiver.
Yeah.
So, you just said it. You don't need a guy. He distributed the ball to 9 different receivers. The top guy had 34 yards. So share the wealth. If you don't have Kelsey every day, you got these other guys who maybe you're saying no names, but they're getting the job done.
But some of them can't catch. That Kadarius Toney is bad.
Yeah, he's real bad. That's why the Giants traded him his rookie year.
Yeah, he's bad.
He seems disinterested in times. Like he doesn't seem like he's all locked in.
He seems like he's like 18 years old. Like he's so immature.
Yeah, he does. Hey, before we get over that game, I want to talk about the attendance of that game and the viewership.
Was it like 2 million?
9.
2 million.
9 million.
Yeah, it's
no,
crazy.
9 million views. No, 9 million people watched it live though, and then 9 million online, which equaled the World Series.
The entire World Series, right, Mike?
I don't know if it's entire or the last game or whatever, but
Okay.
But still, I mean, you're talking about a Saturday morning. It was 6 a.m. in California. You know, I mean, that's crazy. That's pretty interesting. the NFL has that kind of pool, compared to baseball.
Do you think that the European pool too? I'm sure
I think it's getting stronger, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what they're trying to do is I think they're trying to entrench themselves over there with maybe 6 teams, have a division over there with London and maybe Tottenham, and then maybe a German team, and who knows where they'll play next, Ireland. You get yourself 6 teams over there, you get people engaged in it over there, you get a division over there.
I don't like that.
Whether you like it or not, they want to be a worldwide sport. They want to do what the NBA does. Basketball's a worldwide sport. Soccer's a worldwide sport, except for the United States. NFL football is not a worldwide sport. When you go play professional football in like, say, wherever, their leagues are in high school stadiums.
All right.
It's not like it is here. So that's an interesting thing, Mike. I didn't realize it was that much. I mean, I knew it was better than World Series.
How many people were at the game? Like
that's 90, a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, they get huge crowds, 90, 100,000. Yeah. It's insane. It's like a college game.
A friend of mine went to the Buffalo Bills game against Jacksonville and Tottenham, and tickets were $1,200 where he sat. Now, don't get me wrong, he sat like 5-6 rows back, okay? But it was sold out. Like those soccer stadiums are gigunda, and it was sold out. So think about that.
Yeah,
they had 50,000 fans.
Oh.
How big's the stadium? That's what you need to know.
Probably 50,000, probably.
Yeah.
You got to raise the scoreboard too, so the punter doesn't hit it.
Yeah, I read that they want to, and I read this not too long ago. They want to add like 2 or 3 more games next year. Ireland being a place as well now. So they're, it's got to be hard on those guys playing there, though. To be honest with you, it's got to be hard, and they've got to do the schedule a little bit better than that. If you're playing over in Europe, you should have a bye week and play, maybe Thursday of the next week or something like that. But my God, it's got to kill their bodies.
Yeah.
The Ravens actually laid ass to Seattle, which I was shocked at. 37-3.
Fantasy killed me. 1.5 points. Thanks, Kenneth Skywalker.
It's usually tough for those West Coast teams to come out to the East Coast and play, but man, they really put it to them. And the amazing piece was Lamar had a combined 247 yards. All right, about 120 or 140 some passing and about 100 yards rushing. We were just talking about this in the office today, and I think Lamar is actually having a better season than I had anticipated or what he normally does. He's distributing the ball a little bit better, and he's not being counted on to run the ball as much, and that's making a difference for them. They look good. They look good under that auspice like that. What do you guys think about that game?
Well, yeah, they don't have to have him run the ball as much because their line is in shape. They got these running backs who are healthy. Mitchell with 138 yards, and you just here, Gus Edwards, he got like Bussy numbers. Just give it to him in the goal line. He's get 2-3 touchdowns. That running game is phenomenal. You watch the Ravens run game, it's old school smash mouth. They're getting yards 10, 15 at a clip. It's exciting to watch them.
You know who that is? That's their offensive line coach. I think he's been there for a while now. And you can tell. They just change pieces of the puzzle, and their continuity continues. Yep. Their line was a little shaky last year, but
they farmed it up right quick because they got 300 yards on the ground.
Wow!
And think about it, they let a Pro Bowl tackle go. They traded a Pro Bowl tackle in Orlando Brown Jr. And they didn't, they had to stick Villanueva in there for a year, but. They're back healthy again, and I give them all the credit in the world for that. To be honest with you,
yeah,
and Seattle, I'm concerned about Pittsburgh going out there to play them. I don't know unless their offense grows some more. I think they go out there and they lay an egg like they always do when they go out west. The Rams was like one of the first times that I can remember Pittsburgh going out west and actually winning in quite some time.
Beat the Rams, baby.
And they beat the Raiders in Vegas, right?
Well,
They
go ahead.
So no, I'm done. I'm good.
Back to the Ravens, though. They're, would have, could have, should have. Those 2 games they lost to the Colts and the Steelers, but they're beating these top tier teams like everyone's expecting the Seattle. I mean, they're up there. They're in the talk. They're in the conversation. They beat the Lions pretty convincingly, 31.
Handily.
Huh?
They beat them handily.
Yeah,
Very, very much so.
they beat the brakes off them.
And they're, I think, in the conversation.
Yeah, I'd agree. They're one of the scary teams in the AFC right now.
Sir.
But I still say that inevitably Lamar will get nicked up.
I don't know, man. He's got some nice parts, like seeing Zay Flowers develop and do things underneath. And I mean, Beckham isn't awful. He's still pretty solid, even though he's lost a step or two. And like you guys were saying, their line is super impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying he's going to get nicked up, but if they don't have to rely on him to do what he used to do, they could game plan otherwise. Longevity for this season may be in his corner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Eagles. Eagles knocked them off 28-23. All I've heard basically from Cowboys fans is about how poor the officiating was. There was some calls missed, no question about it. And I agree with them. I still don't know if the Cowboys are that great. They never really, I don't know. To me, they don't jump off the charts. They just don't. That's me, though. That's my perception on them. They're a 5-3 team. They have the same record as the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are just hot trash in my eyes. And
they're not hot trash. Pittsburgh's not hot trash.
They got Martavis Bryant now
on the practice squad. Mike, I disagree with you.
Yeah, Pittsburgh?
Yep.
I don't know. But it's the one call that I still don't understand. Dak comes over. He tells the ref, ineligible. He's like, this is ineligible tight end. He reported the guy as ineligible, yelling to the ref, turns around, snaps the ball, and then they called that the guy didn't report. Do you have to report as the individual, or can the quarterback report for you? You have to do it as a player?
I thought you had to do it as a player.
Is that what it is? So he never did it. They stopped. They didn't, and that doesn't matter that the other player, that Dak, who runs the show, was able to call him.
No, you can't go out there and point, be like, hey, he got to come in and So they knew
that player has to do it. So the player forgot to do it. Cost them the game, basically.
I wouldn't lay that on Dak, though. I'd lay that more on the coach for not having him.
I thought it was heads up for Dak to even spot it and realize this guy never did it. I mean, that's on the player himself. You coming in, your number 79 or whatever number he is. You're not eligible. That's your one job, is to report as eligible.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a tough break.
What y'all think?
I don't know the official rule. I don't know, but most times they make that guy go and tell the official, hey, the referee, hey, I'm eligible. I'm going. I'm playing.
Dream.
Say that again.
What do we think about what, Rasheen?
McCarthy as a coach.
I think his days are numbered.
Got you.
I mean, he's just it seems like every year.
Yeah.
He's holding on by a thread.
I don't know. Like if they had won that, like they made that play, they score a touchdown and they win that game, they're 6-2, and you wouldn't even be saying that, though.
Well,
you'd be saying, they just beat the Eagles.
And you know what? You're right. But the thing is, it's another one of those, the expectations of the world are on his shoulders. He's in Dallas, America's team, and so he has to win. And when he's not, it's like a 5-3 schedule. It looks like a barn burner down there. It looks like a cluster mess. So I think if he doesn't get them to the playoffs and win one, what the heck? He's not doing a job.
I'm keeping my opinion to myself about Dallas because I think they're overhyped every year. And I think they put a lot of pressure on them to be this great team. And I think their fans think they're a great team, but I personally don't see the pieces of the puzzle come together for them like they think they are.
Well, is it overhyped, or is it just
they're overhyped? They're overhyped.
I think if you ask anybody, if your team has had levels of success, you're thinking, hey, we're going to be a good team this year. I mean, every year I'm thinking the Steelers are going to be okay or good because that's what we're used to.
But that's what they tell us in the media.
No one's going to come into the season unless you're like who? I don't even know who to say like, oh well, we stunk last year, we're going to stink this year too.
I mean, that's the media. The media builds that up too.
Okay.
You know, a lot of that is the media, and I'm not talking social media. I'm talking media in general. You know, that's why the NFL is a year-round league. And let's face it, Dallas makes money. By Dallas being a good team, Dallas makes money. Guess who prospers? Not just Jerry Jones, but the whole league.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
that's a good point.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Hey, Bengals. This game blew my mind. All right, Bengals 24, Bills 18. The Bills are on such a freaking roller coaster. They're 5-4, guys. DeMar Hamlin returns to Cincinnati. But I think the real story here is the slow start of the Bills. And Josh Allen's playing off the chain. Diggs, Mike didn't know this. I knew this because I looked it up, Mike. Diggs is leading the league. 70 catches, 840 yards. You know, they really don't have much of a run game, though. Like, James Cook is not getting it done like they want you to believe he was going to get it done. And I'll tell you for a fact, because I have him on my fantasy team, and I stopped playing him because he just doesn't get it done. But
is that his fault or is that the O-line's fault?
I don't know.
I
really don't know.
Probably the O-line.
You know.
But how about the Bengals, though? Getting hot.
Who they?
Hey,
weren't they up by 3 touchdowns at some point in this game, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were balling. The only thing I don't understand.
Smitty says James Cook doesn't get the ball. Doesn't get it enough.
Who gets it then? Leonard Fournette?
Well, that's going
to play yet.
I think we're going to find out about Buffalo now that they've got Fournette in the backfield. You know, he can spell James Cook a little bit, and that should make a difference, right?
It should.
This is the first Bengals game that I've watched this year, and I was surprised at how little they game plan for Jamar Chase. Like, Jamar Chase, okay, go deep and we'll throw it to you. Run a hitch and we'll throw it to you. And that's it. Like, they don't motion him. They don't do any of that stuff.
That's because I have him on my fantasy, and they knew I was going to win if I beat Maradizzle, but there's bullshit. That was ridiculous, too.
I don't like how they use him. And then they got T. Higgins, who I didn't even know who he was, number 5. When did he go from 85 to 5?
Tyler Boyd, he's the number 1. Tell him, Shane. Tyler
Boyd. PA guy. That's a PA guy right there.
He's not Higgins. Higgins is a stud muffin.
You know where he's legit, but why do you not use Jamar Chase? Would you not say Jamar Chase is top 5 talent-wise in the NFL, skill-wise?
Can he run tree, noob?
I think he can. That dude is quick, explosive.
He can run a forest. He doesn't need one tree. He got a forest. That guy, yes, he can.
Tree is important, man. I'm telling you.
I just was very disappointed in they put him at X every single time on the line. Go deep, run a post. I mean, come on, man. Get creative with the guy. Give him some chances. Like, I understand why he's frustrated now. That's why he's pissed off. I understand why he's pissed off because they're not using him correctly.
Speaking of X, the X factor definitely was Burrow. I think he's healthy as can be. That leg injury, whatever that calf, whatever's got going on, he's back. He can run. He can get out of the pocket. He can scramble. He can throw. I think they hit that soft reset on the beginning of the year. They're at 5-3 and they're making a surge.
It's scary. That whole division. The Ravens are 6-2, and Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland are 5-3. Right now, if the season ended right now, every team in the AFC North is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
every team. Pittsburgh's the 5th seed. That's the craziest part of it.
That is
because
wild.
They beat the Ravens and Cincinnati and Cleveland so far. You know, Smitty, you're right. Josh Allen is the guy at the goal line. They roll him out and let him run it in or throw it in. He's got his choice. They put him in position to have his choice. That's part of the reason. James Cook is not producing from that perspective. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I'm scared of the Bengals. I am. I could see the Steelers getting swept by them. I could.
I think they're easily going to end up number 2.
Okay. In the league, as far as
that division.
In the division?
Yeah.
Who?
Bengals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pittsburgh and Cleveland are going to fight for third and fourth.
Wow.
I can see that handedly.
Oh.
Let's move on to this game. Commanders knocked out the Patriots 20-17. Everything I read is this is it for Belichick. Everything I read, this is it for Belichick. I just read today that they may fire Belichick midseason. I can't imagine Kraft doing that to him. That would be pretty disrespectful after everything he's done for that franchise. Cheated them to, all those Super Bowls. But
Cheated them.
No, my point being, like, whether he cheated them or not, they still had to play the game and win, right? And at the end of the day, you can't fire that man for that. I mean, he might be a whack job off the field or whatever, but he's a winning football coach. He's been one of the best for the last 20 years that we've watched. He's top shelf guy, and I hate to see them. I hate to see them part ways with him in a nasty way.
Well,
every good thing must come to an end at some point.
And where that end is going to lead him. This might be Rumorville, but I just read it today that he may end up in
DC.
No. No.
That's what I heard.
No.
You heard it here live. Maradei called it.
Exactly, Rasheen. He's a curmudgeon. He was a curmudgeon 10 years ago. 15 years ago, he was a curmudgeon.
Noob don't like old people.
Noob had a picture taken with him. Tell him your story.
I did. I met him at a banquet in Annapolis. Dude looked at me like I had four heads when I wanted to take a picture of him. He was like, "Oh my God, fine."
He was trying to get to the massage parlor.
I don't know how players relate to him. I don't think they do. I don't think he relates to the players. I don't like
I
would hate to see him.
Not having any friends. Once he leaves football, he just goes home to his wife. That's it. And then he probably sits in a fucking room by himself and doesn't bother with her.
You guys think he handed out candy on Halloween?
With razor blades in it.
He put it out on the front porch.
Yeah.
He said, take one, please.
Take one.
Take one.
And when that bowl emptied, he didn't stick another bag in there. No, he didn't. Hey, just go down to in the off season. You could just roll down to Annapolis. His mom's in a nursing home down there, and he comes down there to see her. I will say that.
Back to another. I don't even want to say has been another guy that's probably on his way out the door. What about Mac Jones? Is he done? He's just horrendous.
Yeah, he said.
Did you see the numbers I sent you
Next.
just the other day? I sent you a snapshot of Mac Jones versus Trevor Lawrence, and their numbers are almost identical, and they were both in the same draft. Ironically, it looks really bad, but in essence, they're very close in numbers. The difference is Trevor Lawrence has a better upswing with the coach he has and the players he has around him. Mac Jones doesn't have anybody. Who's he have? I mean, Zeke Elliott is one of his running backs. Okay. His number one receiver until he got hurt was what? Kendrick Bourne. Now he's on the IL. Who's his number one receiver? Can you tell me?
Slater.
AC Slater?
AC?
No. What's his name? Slater? Number 13.
Yeah. Saved by the bell.
That was a good pull.
No, but I mean, how can you be down on the guy at this point when there's some trash?
Yeah, I guess, it takes the whole team, right?
Yeah.
So fire them all. Kick them out of New England.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough go up there right now. That's a tough go after all those years of winning and having Brady and those people, just banging their drum and throwing it in your face. Now they're gonna be on the downswing. I think one of the things though you got to realize right now is all these old coaches, what they're trying to do just doesn't work anymore. And all these young guys coming in, the system they're running, the connection with the players, the creativity they're bringing to the league.
You mean like
that's what's working. And if you really want your team to take the next step, you got to go that direction. You know, I mean, we talked about the guy with the Cardinals, and Noob's a big fan of the Cardinals and the things they've done. Give him another year or so. I think they're going to push Murray out the door and go get themselves a young quarterback. And after watching Caleb Williams cry to his mom after they lost that game, he wouldn't be a guy I'm looking at. I'd look more like a Drake May, maybe a Penix. I don't know.
Penix
It's kind of short.
Yeah, he is short. Yeah.
Next game.
So is Kyler Murray.
Vikings versus Falcons.
All right, Vikings and Falcons. Only reason I put this out there, Vikings won this thing at the end of the game, 31-28. And the only reason I put this out there is because Josh Dobbs has been on 5 teams in 1 year. Josh Dobbs got traded.
Really?
5 teams in 1 calendar year.
Wow.
He got traded a week before this game, came in and led that team to a win.
Arizona.
Wait. What 5 teams? Go.
Cleveland, Cardinals, Minnesota. I just read this. I swear I just read this. Cleveland, Cardinals, Minnesota. Come on, guys. You got your computer in front of you.
There's only 28 more to choose from. You know, it's not Pittsburgh. It's definitely not the Commanders.
Titans.
Hold on. Getting there. Hold on.
Steelers.
All right. Yes. Well, no. Well, he left the Titans in 22. Browns, 23. Cardinals, 23. Vikings, present.
Browns. Okay. Cardinals.
So
he went from the Browns to the Lions, from the Lions to the Titans, Titans to the Browns, Browns to the Cardinals, Cardinals to the Vikings.
Yeah. So 5 teams in 1 calendar year, you guys. And he walks into Minnesota and leads them to victory. He's a competitor.
He didn't start that game, though.
No. Came in. Did you see him on the sidelines practicing the snap count?
Yep. I don't know about you guys, but I personally, Terry and Rasheem, maybe not so much Mike thought about this, but I personally, when Pittsburgh was in the offseason last year, I wanted them to bring Dobbs back and go ahead and cut their losses with either Mason Rudolph or Trubisky. And I think that Dobbs would have definitely given Pickett some of what he needed, more so than those 2 guys, because those 2 guys are not winners like a Dobbs is. I think Dobbs is a winner. I do. He may not have a record of a winner, but I just think he gets it. He just gives me the impression he gets it.
You see Kevin O'Connell when he was calling the plays, he had to like translate them.
Yep.
So they got him right. That's pretty crazy. Go ahead, Ceases. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, because that's a perfect what I was going to say. I saw this quote from him about the game. He said, here, kids, this is for you kids. It's like taking AP Spanish and someone tells you have an AP French exam on Sunday and you have to go execute. Someone's going to talk to you in Spanish and then you have to translate it to French. This guy, no, legit, he is a legit rocket scientist. He's a genius. So he could pick up on those, the plays and everything like that. He gets it. He doesn't have that deer in the headlights look like Coach Maradei said, right? Like
he doesn't.
Some of our backups.
He might have alopecia, but he don't have that deer in the headlights look.
Right. But so you don't know if
that's comforting to know.
Or not.
It's comforting to know.
Cool that they were able to communicate though, like that in that short of time. Him and Kevin O'Connell. I don't know if you heard Kevin O'Connell. Did you hear him after the game? His speech he did it after the game.
No.
So cool, man. He's like reading through this list of guys, and he just I don't know. When he got to him, it was just cool that he gave him the game ball, and everyone was all excited, cheering for him. It was really, really a cool scene.
Just another young coach who gets it. Young coach who gets it.
Came from Washington. Another one.
Yep. Yep. And it's going to be a trend. And if they don't, some of these teams don't wake up and keep hanging their hat on veteran coaches.
So you're saying get rid of all the old coaches? No, you don't like old people. Okay.
No, I'm saying those guys had their day.
Veterans.
I'm saying those guys had their day. I'm saying
I think it's how you are at heart, though. There's older guys who are cool as shit. Like you just got to be like a laid back guy that kind of gets it, like, or at least willing to learn and not be a hardcore like dickhead, like Belichick.
Mike, you're explaining me. I get it. I understand.
Dickhead or what?
No doubt. Oh shit. Yeah, no, but you're right. You are right. There are some, like I think Tomlin gets it to a certain extent, but he's so stuck in his ways from 16 years ago, the way they played football to today. He's not willing to make that transition. That's where I am with Tomlin.
I think
Okay. Standard.
Yeah. You know who gets it? What's his name? Down in Kansas City. He gets it. He's an older guy, 65 years old. He gets it.
I feel like Pete Carroll gets it also. Him and
It
Pete
shows.
Carroll. Pete Carroll's 72.
He's
He
72.
seems like just a chill dude. He
Yep.
surfs, you know.
Yep. What I was going to say with, how we know that what's his name in Kansas City gets it? Because a janitor gave him a play and he ran it.
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me.
Sweet, right.
I mean, that's getting it. So, hey, let's get into our mid-season Studs and Duds awards. We're going to start with the first one, what I call the Beast. It's the MVP right now in the league. Who you got, Noobs?
Just based on what they've done so far this season, I'm taking Tyreek Hill. 69 receptions, 1,076 yards, 8 touchdowns. Pretty goddamn impressive for a receiver. And I know the last couple of games have been a little rough, but that piece of work for half a season is absolutely amazing.
Lights out. Sis?
He took my offensive guy, so I'm going to give a defensive guy. This guy, they need to call him Hoover because he's been sucking up the middle with 102 tackles, 64 solo, 1.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Zaire Franklin from the Colts is a beast.
I just said this today. I said there's the top 5 guys in tackles. I was just saying this in the office before we left work. The top 5 guys in tackles, you don't even know their names. They're not even normal names in the NFL. They're not guys you know. They're not guys that were drafted at the top of the draft. They're not guys who are highlighted. They're not the big guy on the team. You don't hear about them. And Zaire's top guy in tackles.
Yes,
Rasheed,
sir.
who you got? MVP so far.
I'm going with my man CMC, baby. McCaffrey.
Yeah.
All he does is get in the end zone, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always nice. Score.
Yeah.
Or what?
I kind of went a little bit down the road, off the chain a little bit with Josh Allen. Now he's 5-4. I get it. But what he's doing for that team and what that team is giving back to him are not equal, in my opinion. He's doing what he has to do. He's got 2 really good tight ends who get the ball a lot. He's got Diggs who has 840 yards on 70 catches. Even Gabriel, what's the hell's his name? Gabriel
Wilson.
Gabe Wilson. Gabe Davis. That's right. Gabe Davis. He had an off-the-chain game with Josh Allen, and Allen runs the ball. I mean, I think he had a great first half to keep them in the hunt at this point. Again, they're 5-4, and they wouldn't have 5 wins if it wasn't for Josh Allen. So, offensive MVP is a little different than MVP of the league. Mike, who you got is offensive MVP?
I'm going to stick with the Dolphins. I'm going Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he's done, 19 touchdowns, pretty impressive. And you kind of attribute a lot of that to his coordinator, but he's done a lot this offseason. They talked about all the work he did to combat the concussions. He did a lot of neck work, got a lot stronger. He's built himself up. He's gone out of his way to make sure that he doesn't get hit as often. So he's changed the way he throws the ball, his approach to the game. I say that's pretty impressive.
Yep, I'd agree.
Where we at? Offensive MVPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, who you got?
What? It's got to be Showtime, Tyreek Hill, offensive MVP.
Go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home.
Well, we got Tyreek Hill. You feel us, Reek?
Not Rasheed Hill.
Yeah, I'd have to say I agree with you. Tyreek Hill has been lights out. That's who I had too, to be honest with you. So I'll give you mine right now. Mike gave you the numbers. There's no need for me to give you the numbers.
Yep.
Who you got, Sheen?
Going with Mr. 305, Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good call. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. He has
Big
been.
trust.
He has been. All right, let's jump over to defense. Rasheen, who you got for defensive MVP?
Hey, Geno Smith. Say Ravens. I got to stay with the Ravens, man. Geno Smith, free safety.
Interesting.
A lot of interceptions going on back there.
He's got 6 of them.
Numbers don't lie.
And you know what? That's
Hey, that's what
why
R.
do
Kelly
they always have a freaking
that's
good
what R. Kelly
secondary?
said. That's what R. Kelly said. Numbers don't lie. Wrong.
I ain't
R.
touched that. Sorry.
All right, Sis, let's go.
Who you got, T-Sis?
What do you want from me?
I
Defense.
want your defensive MVP.
I'll give you
Who you got?
defense. I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. The boy could play.
He can.
What are his numbers? Do you have his numbers? I'm curious.
His phone number? No. But I got
Just tackles and stuff. Come on. How many tackles? How many sacks? All that stuff.
Oh, my.
I feel like when I've watched him, he hasn't produced it as much recently.
Don't watch him. He does great.
He's sometimey.
I'm starting to get that Chase Young type of feeling.
Oh,
You've got that Chase Young feeling.
All right, T says, look up his numbers, and I'm gonna tell you Max Crosby's
you crack
numbers.
me up, bro.
I'm going Max Crosby. 56 tackles, 21 assists, 30 solo tackles, 9.5 sacks, 1 pass defense, and 1 forced fumble. The tattooed one, Max Crosby.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of all his tattoos. I'm not gonna lie to you. Love him.
That dude's a beast. He's a beast.
I like the music y'all got going today. I don't know about
He'll make you his prison bitch if he had you in prison. Hey,
He's not getting credit because of where he plays, but he is balling.
Hey, Micah's got 31 tackles, 7.5 sacks, forced fumble, forced recovery, 2 pass defense,
Meh.
6 stuffed turkeys.
Meh.
Yeah.
Seems like Max has got a beat and he plays on a lesser team. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Max.
Okay, buy him a cigar, somebody, please, because the Raiders smoke cigars.
speaking of cigars,
Who you got, Maradei?
Here you go, Maradei.
I know.
Hey,
You know who's got.
I got
Mark
one.
Ray.
Hey, look, I'm gonna go straight up Homer, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I already know where
Red
you're
DJ
wine.
Watt. Yes, it is. This is homemade wine that the Maradei's made. It's cherry flavor. Shout out to Joe and Nina for that.
Cherry.
I got to go TJ Watt. His numbers are off the chain.
Oh, cow took a fall.
Holy cow.
He tried
Anyway,
to catch one down the line.
you guys know what TJ Watt does. He's won games on his own for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a reason they're 5-3, and he's the reason. Okay, it's not a gray area. You can go ahead and size up whoever you want to. I agree with you about Crosby's numbers. I know Parsons has his games. Definitely Geno Smith up there in Baltimore. I hear it. But the reason the Steelers are 5-3, the reason is TJ Watt. So let's jump into okay. Before we do offensive rookie of the year, can we all agree on this one?
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
No, yeah, we don't even need to talk about it.
I mean, that kid he's going to be the first and maybe the only ever Ohio State quarterback that puts himself in MVP contention in the league. Who knows what he can do? But I'll tell you what, he single-handedly, under the guidance of a 6-year-old former quarterback coach from the San Francisco 49ers, who is now the offensive coordinator in Houston, he single-handedly has just really risen from what he was as a college player to a whole nother level. Mike, and I know I sat and I told you in the office before the draft, I like Stroud much better than I like Bryce Young.
And everyone I talked to said that. Everyone's saying that. It's crazy. I don't know how us average fans can figure that out, but the people drafting in Carolina couldn't. But can we name an honorable mention?
Yeah.
How about Puka from BYU? Can we give him an honorable mention just on that first
shout
half?
out
That's
to
pretty
Puka.
amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to Puka. Let's give him a little electricity.
Oh, dang. That's a goodie.
That's a Puka Nuka. Yeah, that guy could play ball. You're right, Mike. He could play
This is an
ball.
honorable mention.
What is he, like 22 years old, but he looks like
was
he's
on my
38?
list.
He got that look about him. He looks older than what the hell he is. I saw him
That's
with
funny.
that helmet off. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, let's go defensive rookie of the year. Sis, who you got a defensive rookie of the year?
Plugging up the middle. The interior lineman out of Georgia, Jalen Carter. 4 sacks for nose. Is that not? Yeah. Second highest grade in the league, 5th in the league with 28 pressures, 2 forced fumbles. Immediate, impactful presence, made and known. I don't think anyone else has done that right now like him.
Anybody else have anyone different? You have anybody different, Sheen?
Yes. Is it Walker?
Sacky? He lived up the corner from me. Sacky Walker.
Walker, Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Walker.
I took Devin Witherspoon.
I was going to say Witherspoon's doing a good job out in Seattle as a corner.
Spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I just couldn't take Carter because he plays for the Eagles.
Yeah, well,
makes sense.
He's a beast.
Makes sense.
He is. He's going to be really
I couldn't
good.
take Myles Garrett because he's not as good as TJ.
Who'd you have, Maradei?
You know what? Here's a little bit of surprise for you guys. Brian Branch. Brian Branch has strengthened that secondary in Detroit. I think I've watched Detroit play 2 or 3 times now. I like the kid. The kid's a baller.
When was he drafted? He was drafted late too, right?
Yes, he was. I was hoping like hell that Pittsburgh would grab him. And he was drafted,
awesome.
I want to say in the 3rd round. I'm not 100% sure.
I want to say later than that.
Yeah, it might have been later.
Late though. Yeah.
Yep, it might have been later. But I like the kid. I think he's playing well. He's a stud safety that's going to be around for a while, solidifying that Detroit team, to be honest with you. Hey, my next one, our next one, I should say.
Oh, no. He was picked.
It's the LL Cool J special, the comeback player of the year. Okay? Don't call it a comeback. Who you got? Who you like?
Rodney Pete.
Have you guys ever heard of Blake Martinez?
Yes.
Yeah, actually I have.
So he's just coming back this year. He played for Green Bay, led them one year, 144 tackles. Co-led them. He's been a journeyman. He went out of the league last year because he found a rare Pokemon card, sold it, and started an online social media thing, opening up cards. So now he's coming back to the league. Comeback player of the year, Pokemon man.
Go for it.
Blake Martinez.
Oh, I can't touch that. That was amazing. I can't touch that. This isn't really a comeback guy, but I just think Sam Howell has made like so much progress. I mean, he played a couple games. He started 1 game last year. He started 1 game as a starter this year. He's getting it done. Second most yards in the NFL. So I put Sam Howell. He's not really a comeback guy, but you know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll give you that. I will definitely.
He didn't come back to Pokemon cards, but
that story's unbeatable. T says you knocked out of the park with that one.
No, not so fast, new visor.
I know who you got. I'm
gonna hit you with the Lee Corso. Not so fast. I gotta go with my man from the Berg, Damar Hamlin.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Local kid. Then he went to Buffalo.
What's his numbers look like? And I'm being straight up honest.
I don't all that impressive, but the comeback from what he came back from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I'd have went back out there.
The comeback's better than the setback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Pastor Sizzle.
I'm gonna go with what Noob said earlier about the offensive MVP. He said Tua, and that's who I'm going for my comeback player of the year. The bottom line is that kid should have been out of football after last year with the seriousness of the concussions he took. And, he just battled through all that. He was in and out of the lineup till the bitter end. And he said, I'm not retiring. And lo and behold, he's having a spectacular year under Mike McDaniel. You could say what you want about about guys who didn't play in the league being coaches, but Mike McDaniels, he's legit, and he learned from the bottom up.
Only I say that, by the way.
I know that. My hat's off to Tua. His brother, he's not going to make the league. So let's move into what I call some trash. Okay, you're some trash. Biggest underperformer based on expectations. So
Well, Smitty, I hate to say it, but for 4 years, $160 million, Daniel Jones is some trash. He's thrown, I know he's only played 6 games, but he's thrown only 900 yards. That's 150 average and 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. He's some trash.
Okay.
Daniel Jones, baby. I didn't even have to hear all that to know what he was talking about.
I like it, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Who you got, Rasheem?
Who's the better Harris, Franco or Najee?
Franco.
We'll go with Najee Harris.
Okay.
Stink.
Siri here. Let me know if I can help.
I don't need
Is he that bad? Najee Harris, he's that. I guess mine isn't that mine's Russell Wilson. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Everyone just says he's like supposed to be so elite, and you watch him. He's
Wait. They're saying he's still elite?
Well, I mean, in the last couple of years, people have said that, but I guess not as much this year after last year.
That's true. I think maybe 3 years ago.
His
Now he
numbers weren't that bad this year,
I
though.
was going to say,
His
Now he
numbers
has
are
to look
really
like
not that
Spurgeon.
bad.
he has
Well, now he
1,600
has a-
yards, 16 touchdowns, and 4 INTs.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's solid numbers.
You want to know who
That's a
trash
record.
is? I'm going to tell you trash.
Yeah.
And I'm embarrassed to say this one, Kenny Pickett.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's coming from me. A huge Pickett fan.
Isn't he a victim of the system though? Kind of.
Yeah, I get it, but you know what?
Wilson, you still got
Some-
Zach Wilson.
Oh, that's my pick for the next one.
Oh,
You know, some of those soft throws that he could get to guys and things like that. I know I said he's a little gun shy, and I know I stuck up for him, but on the other side of that coin too, it's not for long, man. That's what the NFL stands for, not for long. And you know, if the Steelers make a change in ownership and things like that, who knows how that'll shake out? Maybe the next guy coming in that's going to be in control is not going to put up with that shit and wants to go out and get a guy who's actually going to get it done. I mean, I want Kenny to succeed. Don't get me wrong. I love Kenny at Pitt. I watched the kid from the time he was a freshman come on the field. Been a big fan of his. I think he's got that grit. He's got that fourth quarter grit to get you the W's. But God dang, it's a 4-quarter game. It's not a 1-quarter game. And that's where the problem is with me. You know, that's where the problem is.
Wow.
So, all right, let's go over to D. Worst defensive performer in the league, man.
Well,
Worst what?
Well,
the
no, I'm
worst
sorry. Let's go to.
offensive,
I'm sorry. Worst offensive performer. Yeah, worst offensive performer.
Rasheem got mine. Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
You're right there with me, right, Rasheem? Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch him play last night? Oh my
Yeah, he's bad. Why does he hold the ball so long?
I know his coach looked.
It's
Oh
like
my
his
God,
teddy
he was-
bear, man. It's comfort. It's comfort.
How did they misjudge him when they
He
drafted
keeps
him?
doing this.
BYU. Is that where he came from? BYU?
That's what his mom's friend was doing to him in high school.
Because he was throwing to Puka.
So
Puka made him look good.
yeah, he sucks, and so does this. This is a coach's quote. We couldn't run it. We couldn't throw it. We couldn't protect it. A lot of things need to get cleared up. No shit. Who do you think said that?
Robert Saleh.
Well, pretty close. It was Coach Jonathan Gannon from the Arizona Cardinals. Whenever they had 99 total yards.
They let Dobbs walk.
99 total yards. The quarterback threw for 58 yards, and they only had 21 rushing.
Clayton Tune.
I mean, I know the guy.
Cartoon.
Clayton Tune. Yeah, Cartoon. He's only been there for probably about a minute. But, hey, when you're in a Steelers system, next man up, right? You're in there.
Yeah.
Are they
Standard
tanking
is
on
the standard.
purpose?
Not for
Are
long.
they tanking on purpose? Is that a
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
think
they want to
need-
move on. Although they said, I read today, they said Kyler Murray getting all the reps with first team, but I don't think that's because they want to keep him. I think they want to showcase him. You know, I think they'll pull the plug on him before they let him win some games, which he's not going to anyway. It's Kyler Murray. You know, we all thought the same thing when he was drafted, but my guy was OBJ. I think he's done in the NFL. Yeah, he's had a couple of games where he's caught a few passes, but he's always pissed off too because he's not getting the ball more. It gets spread around now. I just don't see the same guy after blowing out his knee and everything. I don't. Yeah, he gets a couple.
Watching him play, I took it a different way though. I saw him being pissed off. I agree, but I think he's pissed off at the situation. He's pissed off that he's not able to perform the way he was able to perform.
Hence why
that's the way I took it.
Hence why I said it's a wrap.
No, that's a good call.
You know, honestly, what is it? 3-4 years he had 3 or 4 good years, and that's really been it for that guy. It's not like we're talking about a future Hall of Famer. It's not like we're talking about, you know, Justin Jefferson sitting out a year and coming back and you know, doing his thing. We're talking about OBJ. He was made on a one-handed catch. That's how OBJ was made. And you can leave it at that. Bottom line.
And his hair. His hair is pretty nice.
I'll give you the worst D guy that I see this year. Okay. I called him the boss. You make Bosworth look like a Hall of Famer guy. And it's Patrick Peterson to me. Corner for the Steelers. He's playing way below what they expected. Way below. And apparently Joey Porter Jr. is taking those first team reps over Levi Wallace. And I would not be surprised if by the end of the year there's a little the kid that they just got, the free agent kid that they just got, plucked him off of somebody's practice squad. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. I would not be surprised. Number 21.
Rush.
I would not be surprised if he ends up getting more reps on the other side from Porter.
I like him.
Yeah, he's long. He can run.
He's 4'2".
He was a sleeper in that draft. You know, all he has to do is play off 15 and drop back 5.
I like him.
You guys missed that one. But yeah, that my defensive guys is definitely
that's prevent. We'll go prevent. I understand. We got you.
So yeah, the Steelers play prevent quarter 1 to quarter 4. So who's your?
It's a bend don't break mentality. We know.
Yeah. Mike, who's your worst D guy?
So I have part A and part B. Part A is a coach. I'm going to pick Brandon Staley because he's supposedly a defensive guru. They ranked 31st before the Jets game. Like, they are awful defensively, and they have talent. It's not like he's got some shitty ass defense with no players. They have paid a lot of money to have the guys they have, and they are not getting it done. It's hard to watch. But anyway, they picked it up against the Jets. Zach Wilson, great job shutting him down. Man, that was impressive. Jesus. I think Alabama could shut him down. Trayvon Walker is my player from Jacksonville. He was drafted number 1
overall.
Yeah, number 1 overall. His PFF rating is 59. And PFF obviously could be a little skewed or whatever. We talked about that kind of texting. But he really doesn't have much going on right now. He's not very impressive for being drafted number 1.
Right answer, Mike. Right answer. Russ Sizzle.
Mine is easy. Terrell Edmonds. So you know he got traded from the Eagles to Titans. The night before he played for the Eagles, he got beat by Hill bad. They sent him to the Titans, then we beat up on him. He's just bad, man. I don't even know how he's still in the NFL. I guess because he knows systems. He's good at systems. I don't know. But he's bad. I'm going with Terrell Edmonds. Okay. He's the worst of the Edmonds. He's worse than his dad. His dad was decent, but his brother's pretty good. But yeah,
Farrell.
Farrell Edmonds. Yes, tight end.
What about the running back Edmonds?
Yeah. What about the other Edmonds?
That was their brother too?
There was 3 of them.
There's
nice. I didn't know that.
The running back for the Steelers. He was part of The brother
he's,
crew,
he's,
Steelers were-
he's the worst. He's the
Brotherly
worst.
love.
His dad was legit for Maryland, though, tight end. He was
Farrell
really good.
Edmonds.
Boomer
Oh, yeah?
Esiason throwing to Farrell Evans. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Neil O'Donnell, Farrell Evans.
Ugh, don't say that name.
Oh,
Sis, who you got?
Neil O'Donnell. Oh, Jesus. Who do I got?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many good guys, so many bad guys. I just pick. It's hard to say right now. Pick a guy on the Commanders. They're giving up 245 points. Sorry, noob. They're giving up.
They traded that guy.
They're giving up the most.
They traded him to
points.
San Francisco.
245 points. I think it's going to take the Steelers 6 years to score that many, but the Commanders gave many up in 9 games.
That's a lot.
That is.
I would
shit,
again. PB Part A would be Jack Del Rio. That was on him, not the players.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's a
my
scheme
scary
thing.
team right now. These are the last two, you guys. My scary team right now is definitely the Bengals.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're on the
Mhm.
rise.
I think that's everyone.
Yep, they're on the rise. And my team that is destined to get the number 1 pick, in my opinion, is the Cardinals. That's who I think it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Caleb. I don't know if it's going to be Drake May. I don't know who it's going to be, but I could see the Cardinals drafting a quarterback. Hopefully they do better this time. And
I don't think
that's
they
where
take
they're
Caleb.
headed.
I don't think they take Caleb Williams based on history of what they thought Kyler Murray could do. They're very similar in their style. I think they'll take someone else.
Why
Now-
do you think? Let me ask this real quick, sis.
First of all, real quick, Carolina is fighting for that number 1 spot. Don't forget, they're 1-7. So go ahead.
They're going to take Marvin Harrison if they get the number 1 shot.
Yeah, because they already gave up Mooney or whoever to Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's
Or
draft
maybe
another
they'll take
top-
another quarterback because we
DJ
know Bryce
Moore.
Young is not it.
Yeah, or more. Sorry. Let's draft
Mhm.
another number 1 wide receiver and trade him somewhere else.
Yeah.
What are we going to
Possibly.
say? What do we think about what?
I was going to say, I forget what we were talking about there. But before you
Bottom
I
feeders?
huh?
Who's going to be the first pick overall? Who's going to pick the first pick?
I think it's going to be I'm not taking Caleb Williams. I'm not. If I have the number 1 pick, even if I need a quarterback, I'm not taking that kid. After what I watched him do Saturday night, after what he did in the bowl game last year, he's demonstrating a level of maturity that I do not want in my locker room. And any of these people that tell me he's a generational talent, I respect your opinion, and that's perfectly fine. You do you. You think you say you. But I'm looking for a mature guy to come in like a CJ Stroud has done and lead my team like that. Did you know CJ Stroud has those guys over to his house a couple of times a week for dinner? Like his offense?
That's really
I mean,
cool.
it just he's the guy. He's the guy, and he's letting him know, I'm the guy. I'm here to stay. I'm going to lead you to the promised land, or at least that's his plan, obviously. But I don't agree with. I just don't agree with the whole thing that you're seeing with Williams. And you know what? Be careful with the kid from Duke. I'd like to see him be the number 1 overall. I think that kid has the intangibles.
May?
No, May's from North Carolina.
North
What's the kid's name from Duke again?
Isn't he young? He's got a few years left, I think.
No,
I'm
he's
not
a
sure. I thought
Riley
we
Leonard?
talked about.
No.
He's a junior.
Yeah,
Oh, he is a junior. Okay, my bad.
Riley Leonard.
Yes.
Riley Leonard. That's it, right there.
I like Riley Leonard. 6'5".
Yep. Do you want a prototype quarterback though? Do you want the old school guy that's going to go in there and be able to throw downfield, drop back, or do you want that guy like Lamar, like Tua, who can move out of the pocket and run the ball if need be?
Riley does both, and I like that. Yes, I like him to be able to move. At least get me 7 yards for the first down.
Sure. That makes sense to me. Guys, before we go any further and wrap this show up, let's do our NFL picks for the week.
Hold
on.
Before we do that, I got a trivia question real quick.
Okay.
And you can think about it while we're doing this.
Oh, I love this.
Who has the record for what rookie has the most touchdown passes in a season? And then whose record did he break?
Rookie. Dan Marino.
Yes.
Dan Marino.
I was going to say Dan Marino came to mind.
Marino. He
That's what we're going
broke
with?
Joe Namath.
Dan Marino got beaten by
Favre.
Marino beat Joe Namath.
Peyton Manning sucked. Shit.
Did you say who has it and who'd he beat? Or who beat him?
Who has the record? And whose record did he beat?
Oh.
It's definitely not Manning. Manning
Nope.
threw 27 interceptions his first season. He got a little better his second season. By his third season is when he started figuring it out.
Is it not Marino?
Marino got hurt his first year, didn't he, Mark?
No. He went to the
He went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He played the
That
Broncos.
was the only time he went to the Super Bowl.
Wasn't him.
No,
with
he
the
played.
Marks.
He played the Niners, didn't he? Yeah, he played the Niners.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
it was the Niners. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're in the same division. It couldn't have been the Broncos.
same-
Yeah, no, sorry. Too much coffee.
All right, tell us.
Oh,
He doesn't know.
No, it's Herbert.
Justin Herbert. And he broke
Who'd he
his
beat?
record.
31. And who'd he beat? You guys
Marino.
never get. You don't believe this one.
Rogers.
No.
Favre.
Terry Bradshaw.
Baker Mayfield. 27.
Oh, my God. That was a good one. Good.
How
trivia
many
question.
Baker have?
27.
Wow.
How much more scary? Before I get into our NFL picks, how much more scary would Cleveland be today with Baker at quarterback? If they'd have stuck with the kid and let him play quarterback and let him
And they'd
learn.
have more cap money.
Shit ton more.
Yeah.
How much more scary would they be with Baker? Like they might be better than Cincinnati, to be honest with you, because Cleveland definitely has a better defense than Cincinnati.
We've definitely had this conversation. I never understood the love of Watson. Never did.
You know, I mean, I was a guy who last year said, you know, if you can grab Baker for your backup, I'd feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I really was. Even 2 years ago when he was getting shopped around, before we took Pickett, I was kind of like, yeah, if you get Baker, he's only 27 or 28. He's pretty young still. Baker's pretty young. So, all right, let's do this. Weekly picks. Right out of the gates, we're going Colts, Pats.
Colts.
What about the
Colts.
Thursday game?
Huh?
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I'll go Colts.
Colts across the board.
I said the Thursday game.
The Thursday game. Oh, I'm sorry.
Panthers and Bears.
Ugh, at the Bears.
I got Bears. I mean, I got Bears.
Me too.
Oh,
Sis,
that's tough.
Bears.
Yeah, Young.
Yeah. I'll go Bears.
okay. We're across the
That's a
board.
tough one.
First two picks. Let's go pick three. Browns, Ravens in Baltimore.
Ravens.
Yep. Ravens.
The Dirty Birds. Ravens.
I'm breaking the streak here. I'm going to go Browns.
Yeah, you're going to lose.
I think that defense is going to give Lamar fits.
They got the number one. Ravens got the number two. Who has a better quarterback? Ravens.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yep, Watson.
This one's easy, guys.
Fit the
It's
bid.
kind of easy. Texans and Bengals.
Where?
It's in
It's in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. They're getting
Oh, the Texans. Go
Who?
the Texans.
Okay. So am I, Sheen.
D'Amico the freak out.
I'm going Bengals.
Okay.
Who day? I'll take the Bengals.
Who they
He
think?
says, so we got 2 and 2. Nice split. Niners at the Jags.
Niners. What the heck? You said that like it was a tough one.
Hey, it is. The
You're
Niners.
Niners
obviously
are
not
struggling.
paying attention to 49ers.
Niners got more skids than Mark's underwear right now.
I ain't wearing underwear. No, playing.
When I do, it's usually something weird and exotic.
Oh, love that movie. Bill Murray, baby. Stripes. Excellent.
I think
Come on, dude.
I'll go 49ers. They got your MVP. I got to take them.
Yeah.
CMC.
Sis?
Run
I'll
CMC.
go with the Niners.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking all that mess.
Guess what? I'm going Jags. I'm a
Guess
Jag
what?
off. I'll
You
go
gonna
with
lose.
the Jags. Saints, Vikings.
I'm
At the
going with the
Vikings.
Vikings. My boy Josh Dobbs.
I'm going Saints.
Saints.
Noobs.
There it is. That's the nail in the coffin right there. When Noobs
Sis,
goes
what are you going?
opposite, that's
Saints.
nail in the, when Noobs goes opposite, that's nail in the coffin right there.
I'm going to go Vikings too. I just think them playing at home, he's going to get after it. Titans, Bucks. This is some shit show. This is a shit show, but Will Levis might light this
Oh,
up.
Titans. Yeah, hell yeah.
Levis against Baker Mayfield.
I'm going with the
I'm
Titans.
going Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
D Hop, D Henry, D's nuts.
It's getting delayed. I'll go with the Titans.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
All right.
gonna be
Noobs, you're on
Jesus.
an island there, baby. You're on
That's
an
all
island.
good.
Hey.
I like that.
The last 1 o'clock game. The worst 5-3 team you've ever seen, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Green Bay in Pittsburgh.
Oh, we're going with it. Go ahead. We're going to let Noobs go first so we can go opposite.
No, go. I'll pick your Steelers. Let's take the Steelers.
All right, I'm going with Green Bay.
I'm going with the Steelers.
You didn't jinx us. No, I'm going Steelers too. I'm going Steelers, Mark.
Okay.
Ain't no love.
I took Steelers too, boys.
Ain't
That
no
was a
love.
clean sweep.
Even
Hey,
though
the
you're
first
wearing a Green Bay shirt.
Hey, this used to be a good game, this first 4 o'clock game. Giants at the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
It's going to be a real good
Oh,
one.
yeah. Cowboys.
Daniel
Yeah,
Jones.
Cowboys crossed the board.
They're
Danny
favored by 16.5.
Oh,
Hey.
my God.
Commanders at the Seahawks. This is interesting. Commanders 4-5, the Hawks 5-3.
Commanders, baby. Commanders, they got solid D. Geno Smith, he got that money and he's sad.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I'm going with the Hawks too.
I'm
Nope.
going Seattle also. That home field advantage, Seattle. Too
Get
loud.
all
Yep.
Jets Raiders. Oh,
man.
shit. Jets Raiders.
Jets.
Get your cigars ready because the Jets are going to win.
Jets.
It's
Max Crosby's going to have
it's-
7 sacks. I'm going Raiders.
it's in the Vegas area.
He's shoring up the defensive
Who's
player.
playing
of the year.
quarterback for Vegas? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Week 10, he's shoring up. He's getting another tattoo. It's going to say Steelers suck.
Last game of the week because you got the Dolphins, Rams, Chiefs, and Eagles on the bye. Last game of the week, Broncos at the Bills.
The Dolphins are on a bye again?
Yep.
Eat my sugar. That's my QB.
Oh, man.
Did you say? I'm sorry, Mark. Who?
Denver
Hmm.
at the Bills.
Denver at Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo. Come on, new Baz. Quit acting all.
What's the spread on this?
7.5.
This
Does it
might be
matter?
one of those ones where they throw those extra flags.
You okay?
I'll
Yeah.
pick the Bills.
Russell Wilson will be eating them because the Bills
I know,
are
right?
Sis?
Bills.
Watch.
All right.
It's going to be upset city.
Yeah. Interesting week, guys. Not a lot of picks similar here. A lot of picks similar. I can't wait to go through it. Hey, tell them how they can find you guys. Let's start with the dream up there.
The dream ain't hard to find. Rasheen Hill, Facebook.
There it is.
You just
Sis, how we
keep-
find you?
keep the dream alive at One Young Terry on the X and Instagram.
Excellent. Noobs.
Right there. Coach Noob. At Coach Noob. X and IG.
There you go. Hey, connect with us here on the Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. Check out our We're going to have some pictures up there soon because we got some things coming up, you guys. Like our Facebook page. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and even subscribe to us on YouTube, you guys. It's either Original Sports Podcast or OSP with MM. Feel free to let us know if you have comments, questions, even a suggestion for somebody who wants to be a guest. Email us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to Sean Ankoviak for doing our voice intro, Chuck Hodgson for doing our music, my wife for taking care of the webpage.
And the wine.
And for supplying the red wine.
Big
Wine.
shout out to my wife, the homemade
Yeah.
wine, and she
Oh,
came
oh,
through with
oh.
sunglasses.
Oh, we
Hey.
gotta say happy birthday to Zoe Newbizer too.
Oh, thanks for
Big shout out to the Zoe. How
speaking.
old,
One
Noobs?
seven, man.
17.
She's getting up there. Oh my god.
Keep her away from Max. He's already got like 4 girls.
Yeah, no shit.
Holy crap. Hey, next week we're going to be live on location, and we have a special show coming up next Thursday, you guys. We have an ex-Penguin who you're going to want to hear what this dude has to say. He was just brutal in the days he played for the Penguins and the Islanders. There's a little hint for you. That show is 8:30 next Thursday night, and then we'll bring you our regularly show on Saturday at 1 o'clock from one of the local establishments here in Frederick, which will be announced on our webpage and on Facebook real soon. Join us next week to experience the O on the Original Sports Podcast.